Born in 1962 in the Toronto suburb of Newmarket, Ontario, Canada, was James Eugene Carey, son to Kathleen and Percy Carey. James' mother was a homemaker, while his father was a musician and an accountant. His parents enrolled him in Blessed Trinity Catholic Elementary School in North York. He was later enrolled in Aldershot High School and Agincourt Collingate Institute when his family moved to Burlington, Ontario. At the age of 8, James discovered he had a talent for doing impressions. He would stand before a mirror and make various funny faces. James' family struggled financially that they could barely afford most of their needs, let alone their wants. This financial constraint hindered James from having the regular childhood and teenage years most kids had at the time. When he grew older into a teenager, James and his brother took up multiple odd jobs to augment the family's income. Upon turning 16, James dropped out of school because he saw no possibility of advancing his education as the financial situation in his family had aggravated. He had to retain his job at a tire factory and found another source of livelihood, performing comedy at functions which he earned meager sums. But nevertheless, James still had the dream of becoming a renowned entertainer. In order to support his dream, his father assisted him by putting together a stage act and would also drive him to Toronto to perform at the comedy club Yuk Yuk's. James' act of impersonation and slapstick comedy were not enjoyed by most people, and this gave him great cause for concern. His worries escalated side by side along with his family's financial condition. Soon, he began to doubt his prospects as an entertainer. This gave way to depression and frustration. At this point, he could have given up, but he said no to that voice of defeat and forged ahead. Things went from bad to worse, as his family soon became homeless and lived in a Volkswagen van. Yet, James didn't let any of these deter him from achieving his goals. He soon started going from open mic events to regular paid shows. This earned him a reputation as a comedian. Eventually, his hard work was noticed by comedian Rodney Dangerfield, and he got signed to become the opening act for Dangerfield's tour performances. Of course, whether or not this opportunity was created to make Rodney look better, that controversy is irrelevant, because James' contract with Dangerfield afforded him the opportunity to be brought to Las Vegas. I know, right? Las Vegas, the city of dreams. Anyways, in a few years, James moved to Hollywood, where he began to appear in a show called The Comedy Store. It was a roller coaster ride for him, with lots of failed auditions, a few nods, and a lot of setbacks. But he eventually earned critical acclaim and rose to international success. Today, his stage name, Jim Carrey, is a staple in most households worldwide. Poverty, despite being an obvious threat to dreams, should not be a hindrance, but a push to try harder and to build something meaningful out of one's life. Poverty is a threat to dreams anywhere. So, the best anyone who finds himself born in poverty could do is to make a solid, strong resolve not to remain poor. Gabriel Valley once said, in quotes, Never let a bad situation bring out the worst in you. Be strong and choose to be positive. Whenever you find yourself in a situation that isn't so pleasant, don't be pressured to take the wrong steps and make things worse for yourself. Instead, try as much as possible to be in a positive state of mind. That way, you will be able to focus and think rightly. Michael Jordan once said, "Always turn a negative situation into a positive situation." Being trapped in a negative situation doesn't mean you won't find a way out. There is always a safe way out of every negative situation. The best way to do this is by changing the negative trajectory of your life into a positive one. There are numerous ways to derive good things from unfavorable situations. But first, you have to be positive about it. Amy Winehouse once said, "Train your mind to see the good in every situation." The moment you learn how to be optimistic about every situation, you would be able to disallow any bad situation from frustrating you. The moment you train your mind to see the benefit in every situation, no bad incident will be able to influence your life negatively. Jim Carrey didn't allow himself to be affected by the financial struggles he faced. Like Jim Carrey, you need to keep moving forward. Don't let anything affect your focus. Personally, my advice to you that goes beyond the writings of this script is to give negativity a run for its money. Do not allow it to have a hold in your life. Stay safe and be well. Until next time.